At my mother's 71st birthday dinner, my golden child sister found out I was worth $19 million and came apart at the table. But it was my mother's face, not hers, that told me the real betrayal had been going on for years. My sister Brooke was the favorite and nobody pretended otherwise. She got a car at 16, I got a bus pass and a speech about character. When she quit 2 colleges, my parents called it finding her path. When I dropped out to fix forklifts at a warehouse, my dad told people his son gave up, so I stopped auditioning for their approval. I moved away, started renting used equipment to contractors, one skid steer, financed to my eyeballs, and spent 15 years growing it into a rental company with 4 yards across 2 states. 2 years ago, a national chain bought us out. After taxes, my share was a little over $19 million. Only my wife Marisol knew. I kept my F-150, kept my same house, kept my mouth shut. Money you don't mention is money nobody can perform for. Mom's birthday brought everyone back to my parents' house. Brooke arrived late in a leased Range Rover she'd cried about affording just last spring. Her opening line to me was, "Still renting out tractors or whatever it is." I said something like that. Marisol squeezed my knee. Halfway through dinner, Brooke steered the conversation where she always steers it. Mom and Dad were getting older. The house needed a new furnace. Dad's truck was on its last legs. "Some of us," she said, looking at me, "show up for this family with more than a birthday card." Then came the pitch. Brooke had found a family compound 40 minutes away. If everyone chipped in, meaning me too, the down payment was $450,000 and we'd all benefit. I asked how her last business, the boutique that closed in 8 months, had benefited everyone. She said that was different. I asked how. She said, "Because family doesn't keep score." My father studied his mashed potatoes. Then Brooke, needing to win, pulled out her phone. "You know what? Let's see how the tractor business is really doing." She was smirking as she typed. I watched the smirk die. She scrolled, refreshed, scrolled again, found the trade publication article, found the acquisition announcement, found the number. "You sold your company?" she said. The table went quiet. "For how much?" "Enough," I said. She turned the phone around like evidence at a trial. My mother went pale. My uncle whistled. Brooke's voice climbed an octave. "You've been a multi-millionaire for 2 years while Mom and Dad worry about a furnace?" I put down my fork and said very evenly, "Ask Mom about the furnace." Brooke blinked. "What?" "I offered to replace the furnace last winter. I offered to pay off this house in full when Dad's hours got cut. I offered to cover Mom's cataract surgery so she wouldn't wait 4 months on insurance. Every offer was turned down." I looked at my mother. Wasn't it? The silence had weight to it. Marisol nodded slowly, backing every word. My uncle looked at my mom, and my mother, 70 years old that day, stared at her plate and started to cry. "Brooke told us not to take anything from you," she said. "She said your money was guilt money, that you were trying to buy your way back in and make her look small. She made me promise not to tell anyone you'd offered." She wiped her eyes. She said, "Yes, people accept, but strong families don't." My father finally spoke. One sentence to Brooke. "You let me drive to the food bank in December." Brooke went into damage control. She was protecting them. I was manipulative. Money changes people. Nobody was listening anymore. Then came her last card. "Fine, he's rich. He can fix everything, including the lake house. That's the family legacy anyway. And we all know Mom's leaving it to me." That's when I set the folder on the table. I'd brought it as a birthday surprise. 8 months ago, my parents had quietly sold me the lake house because they needed to clear their debts and refused a gift. Inside the folder was the deed and the paperwork I'd signed that morning, putting the lake house into a trust for every grandchild in the family. All 5 kids. Equal shares. Untouchable. Brooke read it twice. "You gave my lake house to children?" My mother stood up, 70 candles waiting in the kitchen, and said the hardest sentence I've ever heard her say. "It was never yours, Brooke," and I'm starting to think we never really knew whose fault that was. Marisol and I stayed for cake. Mom held my hand under the table like she was afraid I'd disappear. Brooke left before the candles were lit, and no one walked her out. She believed being the favorite was an inheritance. It took her one dinner to learn it was only ever a costume, and that the quiet brother renting out tractors had owned the legacy all along.